Hey guys, I've got a knife from Canadian Tire. I told you I was going to review this a while ago when me being sick and stuff for like 6-7 weeks, whatever it was, 6 weeks mostly, part of 7 weeks. It kind of went to the wayside and stuff, and anyways, here it is now. This is from Canadian Tire and their Maximum series. So yes, you can only get this knife in Canada, and it's 20 bucks. $19.99 is the regular price for this. I bought it on special, in late fall. I forget exactly. There's a video of, just subscribe to the channel and you'll be able to find the video. Just look for Maximum and you'll be able to find it. 12 bucks, 13 bucks? I don't remember what I paid for it. Anyways, $19.99 Canadian, which is about 14 American dollars for my viewers outside of Canada who are watching this. I know you're watching because you're curious. What kind of knife do they have in Canada? Well, this is a full Tang fixed blade knife, Western Tanto style, stainless steel blade, stonewash finish, and it comes with a sheath. And yes, of course, highly inspired by what Mora does. Is it worth it? Should you rather buy a Mora instead? Well, Mora doesn't make anything like this. They make a lot of Scandi grind knives, and they make a lot of other, some thinner blades, some, fishing knives, and they do make some chef's knives and some kitchen knives and stuff. But they don't make anything really like this. So let me tell you all about it. And am I going to recommend it? I think so. I think I will. Find out to be sure. Just keep watching and you'll see. Okay, as I begin, I am feeling a tickle in my throat again and in my chest. I hope I'm not getting sick again, but we'll see. In any case, my voice is a little bit rough, so I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. Like I said in the intro, the stainless steel on this knife is unknown. They just say it's stainless on their website. They don't say what it is. There's no corrosion on it yet. I've tested this a bit. Not super tremendous amount, but I've tested it a bit. And let me tell you about it. The blade shape, yeah, it's, the Western Tanto style. We've got sort of a drop here. We've got a swedge here. And then we've got this edge and an angle. And this edge, of course, this edge has got a little bit of a belly on it. This edge's got a little bit of a belly on it too. It's not straight. That's not a big deal. It's pretty close to straight here. And this guy's got even more of a belly than this does. But it does okay. Is it a good piercing knife? Which most people have this kind of Tanto edge and they want to pierce with it. They show videos of people stabbing into steel and stuff with, this style of knife. I wouldn't suggest it with this, partly because I wouldn't trust the steel and it's not too terribly thick behind the spine. You see, you've got this long section, the full thickness of the blade's back here, and it's a bit less than 1/8 of an inch thick to start with. So I don't really think that's its purpose. Of course, you can go ahead and do it. This is only 20 bucks, 14 US dollars. That's if you pay the full price, and they go on sale every once in a while because anything that's got one of Canadian Tire's brand names on it, which Maximum's one of their well-known brand names, it's not going to be full price all the time. So yeah, if you've got the patience for it, check that out. We've got, the flat surface here, so it easily mounts to a sharpening rig. The steel's pretty soft. It doesn't hold an edge terribly well. It didn't come super sharp from the factory, but not terrible. So it was reasonable from the factory. It's okay. The edge, it's a little bit thick, behind the edge, which does help this softer steel. I did some toughness testing, not an awful lot, jammed it into some wood and pried a little bit. Didn't jam it in super deep. I'm not trying to break the knife because I don't want to buy another one because, I don't know. I don't have a big use for this knife, but some people will. And for somebody who's looking for this style of knife, yeah, I'm going to recommend it. We've got a full Tang, which is the steel goes all the way to the end. You can see the steel at the end. You can see how wide this is. It's about 3/4 of an inch. So all the way through here, my magnet suggests that, yeah, that stays nice and wide all the way through there. So decent. Lanyard hole, nice big lanyard hole. You can tie off anything into that hole. Paracord, 550 paracord easily fits through there. And yeah, handle material, you can't trust Canadian Tire's website for product descriptions. They say it's enamel. Yes, that's a beautiful enamel. No, it's an ABS plastic. I'm 90% sure it's ABS or some flavor, something similar to ABS plastic, which is a tough enough plastic. It does feel, outside in the wintertime, which we're having now in February, although it's getting warmer right here in our part of Alberta, above freezing every day for the next 8-9 days. They're suggesting 8 days. So that's not bad. But if you're going to use this barehanded outside, it's not going to be super comfortable terribly long. They've got a couple little lines milled in there, tiny bit extra grip from that. But I wish they would have done a little bit of jimping on the front here, because they did it here, and jimping on the steel here, which is reasonable. But for there, especially, if you are going to pierce it into something, if you're going to come to a sudden stop, you don't have an awful lot of protection here to stop your hand from sliding over that edge. Badging, it's not too bad. You just got an X right there. I really do wish they'd tell us what the steel is, though. The exposed steel back here, I didn't use it to crush anything or nothing. There's no sharp spine on it for striking a ferro rod. This is not like a bushcraft style knife anyway, so, but if you want that, go ahead, sharpen a flat edge back here, or sharpen a flat edge back there, with a nice file. It's not going to take an awful lot, and it'll do okay. I did strike some ferro rods with the sharp edge just to see, and the steel is okay for, throwing some sparks. It's not great, but it's okay. It's decent. The handle is thicker here, and, it gets thinner back here and a little bit thinner towards the front. What's this dimple or this sticking out thing right there for? Well, that's for the sheath. Now, the sheath is probably this same ABS plastic. It feels identical, and it's probably ABS, and it's got a hole milled in right there, and that's where that's supposed to go in and click. So there you go, slight click there. It does hold in there quite well. The sheath holds it. Upside down shake, it's not coming out. It's decent, although that is going to wear pretty quickly on here and there, and it's going to have less retention over time. It's not going to last super long for that. If they really wanted it to have better retention, they should have done that on both sides, and that would hold on even better for even longer. But maybe that'd be too much retention, too much grip for them. It's only right-handed. Of course, you can put this in your left side if you want to. It's just going to be a little different when you pull it out, and maybe that's when that comes in a little handy. When you're doing it with your left hand, you push off there. You have less to grip on back here. So it's not super left carry friendly. It's a little bit better right carry friendly. It's not great that way. It feels like the surface that it's got this slight bead blast finish, so there's a little bit of texture there. Let me rub it in front of the mic. So yeah, that's okay. There is a drain hole in the sheath right there. So if you do get this out in the weather, that's okay. The retention here for a belt, it's okay. It holds on okay. It's not that hard to pull this off. Pull this back, to slip it on over the belt. And I'm not sure what that round notch is for. I think they were trying to copy Mora. Like it would clip onto another one, but they don't have the button here to clip it onto. So I don't know why they did that way, but it's okay. It's not great. It's okay. So sheath is decent enough, especially at $20, and the knife is decent enough at $20. Let's go over all the measurements here. How much does this weigh? Well, altogether we got 197 grams, 6.9 ounces, which isn't crazy for a fixed blade knife of this size. The sheath is 1.09 ounces, 31 grams. The knife is 166 grams, 5.86 ounces, 87 ounces. So just shy of 6 ounces for that. The cutting edge, if you measure from the heel of the blade in a straight line up to the tip of the blade, that's about 109.2 millimeters, 4.3 inches. From the tip of the blade to the handle right here, that's 106.8 millimeters, 4.2 inches. Thickness of the blade, 2.96 millimeters, 0.1165, so just the tiniest bit under 1/8 of an inch. The blade depth is widest right back here, 33.1 millimeters, 1.3 inches. The thickness behind the grind on this main section, it's about 0.8 millimeters, which is about 31.5 thousandths of an inch, after this apex grind, which gives it some toughness that it needs, but it makes it a little bit harder to cut through stuff because it's thicker. Up here, it gets quite a bit thicker, up to 1.23 millimeters behind the grind, which is it's 48 thousandths of an inch thick. So yeah, it's a heavy, thick edge. It's not super thin. If that's okay with you, that's okay. A decent sharpness choil right here, so the edge, you can sharpen to the end and not have it look ugly. Didn't mention that before. The handle now, the handle length from the ABS or whatever, my thumbnail there to my thumbnail there, so that's with the steel exposed sticking out there. 134.6 millimeters, 5.3 inches. The thickest spot on the handle here is about 17.4 millimeters, 0.685 of an inch. Its biggest right here in the grip, 34.5 millimeters, 1.36. The grip area, that's about 11 centimeters, about 110 millimeters, 4 1/3 inches, so a little over 4 1/4 inches, a little bit more than that. Actually, I measured it from the front of this section, not on this flat, so you could sneak up a little bit if you wanted to. Put your middle finger in this trough here, and if you really wanted to get up behind it, it's okay. The total length of this knife, I didn't convert it. It's 242 millimeters, which is, on the inch side here, 9.5 inches long. So yeah, for its size, a little over 4-inch blade. The handle's proportionately too big. It just, my hands, I've got a little bit, I'm in the extra large range this way, and I can grip it here, and there's lots of handle left. I can grip it way back here, and I've got all my hand gripping it, and I'm not even on this finger choil here, so yeah, there's too much handle. With gloves on, then, this thickness starts feeling a little bit thicker than it really needs to be. So I wish they would have made this just not much, just a little bit thinner, and then it would be more comfortable even with or without gloves for most people. And if you've got really big hands, then maybe you even want a bigger knife. I don't know. Well, it depends on what you're going to use it for. Let me go over the pros and cons. Pros, the price for what you get. There's not that often that you get a full Tang stainless steel knife and it doesn't have to be exposed Tang to be full Tang. This is full Tang because it's the full length of the handle and the blade. It's all one piece of steel. So full Tang knife, yeah, it's not bad for 20 bucks, 14 bucks US. Yeah, not bad at all. Like I said, don't trust the Canadian Tire website. They say this is a serrated blade. Look at that. All those serrations on there. Beautiful serrations. Nope, it's a plain edge blade. Western Tanto style. Chipping's okay. Sheath is okay. The retention's decent. The belt clip here is okay. The push off there, I like that they added that on there. That's a little bit of jimping stuff on there. I wish this jimping was a little finer and went a little bit further, but I always say that. So yeah, it's not terrible. Things that are okay, like, is that jimping. It's a little thick at the edge, but it's not terrible. Like, it's still okay. Handle size is a little bit big. Yeah, that's still okay. And this belt loop strength and durability, I don't think is going to be great, but it's okay. So that's the pros and the okay stuff. What's the cons? I don't like how this feels in my hand outside, like in the cold. Yeah, it seems to feel really cold a little bit quicker than I'd like. And this steel is quite soft. I really wish they would at least just went and maybe it's the heat treat. I really hope that they would be using 8CR13 MOV or better, but I suspect this is not. I think this is probably 440 or cheaper. Probably cheaper than even 440. I think it's like a 3CR13 or something. Like, it's not a 7CR. It's probably not even a 5CR. It feels like a 3CR when I took my sharpening to it just a little bit to try it out a little bit to see how it feels on my sharpening equipment. That gives me a pretty good sense of how hard it is. I don't have a proper hardness tester, so I can't tell you exactly. But it's okay. It's if you're looking for a low cost, you know, Western Tanto style full tang knife, I don't think you can do better for 20 Canadian dollars in Canada. Maybe somewhere else you can get it better for $14 US, but not from a store within Canada. So for that, if that's what you're looking for, yeah, I recommend this. This is the first time I think I've really recommended a Canadian Tire knife. Well, some of the Hunt Shield ones were okay. I did say a good number of positive things about some of those. Those actually share the steel type. They tell you what the steel type is on the packaging. But yeah, so this is okay. Before you stop watching, hopefully you are still watching, there's another knife in this series that is more like a Mora. It's called the Fixed Blade Trade Knife. I don't recommend that one. That one is not full tang. I haven't bought one, haven't taken one home, but I looked at them in the store and stuff. I don't recommend that one. In that case, just get a Mora 511. If you want something with a Scandi grind, like that Fixed Blade Trade Knife has, get a Mora 511 or any other low-cost Mora that you can find. If you want a more heavy-duty one, you know, get one of the companion heavy-duty ones from Mora. Mora, at least they tell you what steel it is. Their carbon steel is quite good, and their stainless steel is not 8CR13. Their stainless steel is 12CR27, which is a good stainless steel. Not as good as 14C28, but yeah. So if you want something with a Scandi grind for a low price, you know, there I would say the Mora 511. But for this style of knife, for this basic kind of design, this is okay. It really is okay. Just be prepared to maintain this edge. You're going to have to maintain this edge more often than you would with better steel, but it's not terrible. So there you go. That's what I think of this knife. So thank you so much. Remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.